Take a coin out of your pocket right now, any coin. Now run your thumb along the edge. Feel that? Those tiny ridges, dozens of them, perfectly even, running all the way around. You have touched those ridges thousands of times in your life. Every time you picked up change, every time you reached into your pocket, and you never once stopped to ask why they are there. Most people assume it is grip or decoration, a design choice someone made a long time ago, and nobody ever changed. But here's the surprising truth. Those ridges are not decoration. They are not for grip. They are the solution to one of the most widespread crimes in history. A crime so clever and so profitable that it was robbing kings, queens, and entire governments blind for centuries. Today on The Story Behind Everything, we are uncovering the crime that almost broke the world's money supply, how one tiny edge detail stopped it, and why the man who solved it was better known for discovering gravity. To understand the ridges, we first have to go back to a time when coins were not just symbols of money. A gold coin was worth its weight in gold. A silver coin was worth its weight in silver. The actual metal in your hand was the value, and that created a very tempting problem. Because if a coin is worth its weight in gold, what happens if you shave a tiny sliver off the edge? You still have a coin. It still looks like a coin. But now you also have a small pile of gold dust in your hand. Do that to 1,000 coins, and suddenly you have a fortune, and nobody can prove a thing. This crime had a name, coin clipping, and it was everywhere. Merchants did it. Traders did it. Even people who worked inside the mint did it. By the 1600s in England, it was estimated that nearly half the coins in circulation had been clipped. The country's entire money supply was being eaten alive, one shaved edge at a time. Here is what made coin clipping so devastating. It was almost impossible to catch. Think about the last time someone handed you change. Did you measure the coin? Did you weigh it? Of course not. You glanced at it and put it in your pocket. That is exactly what every merchant, every shopkeeper, and every tax collector did too. Think of it like someone slowly letting air out of a tire. The car still drives. You still get in and go. But every single day, you are running on slightly less than you think. By the time England realized how serious the problem had become, prices were rising, trust in money was collapsing, and the government needed a fix, fast. In 1696, the British government gave the job of fixing their broken money supply to a scientist, not a banker, not a politician. Isaac Newton. Yes, that Isaac Newton, the man who described gravity and changed the way humanity understood the universe. He was appointed master of the mint, and what he found when he arrived made him furious. Corruption inside the mint itself, clippers operating in broad daylight, a money system so damaged it was barely functioning. Newton's solution was simple, elegant, and has lasted over 300 years. If the crime was shaving the edge, make the edge impossible to shave without being caught. He introduced milled edges, tiny uniform ridges pressed into every coin during minting, perfectly even all the way around. Now, the moment anyone clipped a coin, the ridges disappeared. Any ordinary person could see it in 1 second. No measuring, no weighing, no expert needed. The coin itself had become its own evidence. Newton solved the problem in 1696, and coin clipping faded away. Gold and silver coins were replaced by the cheap mixed metal coins we carry today, which raises an obvious question. Modern coins are not gold or silver, so shaving one gets you almost nothing. The crime that made ridges necessary does not exist anymore. So why do we still have them? 2 reasons. First, ridges help vending machines, parking meters, and counting machines instantly tell coins apart by feel. A ridged edge is a tactile fingerprint that automated systems read in a fraction of a second. Second, and this is the quiet truth about every great design, it simply never needed to change. The ridges work. They cost nothing extra. Removing them would break machines and confuse people and solve nothing. So, they stayed. Next time you reach into your pocket and feel those ridges, do not feel a coin. Feel a crime scene. pressed into that tiny metal edge is 300 years of history. Isaac Newton's response to a crisis that was tearing an entire country's economy apart, one shaved sliver at a time. A design so perfectly simple that in 3 centuries, nobody has ever found a reason to change it. That is not decoration. That is not grip. That is one of the most quietly brilliant pieces of problem solving in the history of money, riding around in your pocket every single day, touched by thousands of people and understood by almost none of them until now. If this changed the way you see something you have handled your whole life, hit like, share it with someone who uses coins every day without thinking twice, and subscribe to the story behind everything, because the most surprising stories in the world are not in museums. They are in your pocket right now.